back to another podcast of Never Miss Mondays. But now we have someone who's not a Monday on the podcast.
Whoop, whoop. Yay!
So we have a little bit of a change of scenery for this week. We're doing some guest podcasts with some people in our life. So we've got Josie Santel here.
Whoop, whoop.
Yay!
I'm so happy to be here.
Tell us a little bit about your amazing self.
Well, I'm perfect. I am also into fitness like Olivia. So bodybuilding, I'm in my first prep right now. So we are 11 weeks out, which is super exciting.
Ooh.
And Olivia's a little
Almost
guide
singles.
for me. So it's awesome. But
Yeah.
just super into fitness, really health and wellness, not just bodybuilding, but also nutrition that goes with it. I personal train. I'm trying to build up some online coaching.
Yep.
I have a dog, so I'm a dog mom.
Luna.
And me and Olivia have dog twins.
We do. We now
Our-
have dog twins. Draco looks just like Luna.
Yeah, so, and we birthed them. So
Yeah.
I love my dog.
We're moms.
We're moms. But yeah, I just really love to be active. I love Jesus. I love my dog.
Yeah.
I love to read.
Yeah,
my
you're a new reader. You
Yes.
started reading when we were working together.
Yes, and now I'm obsessed.
What are you reading right now?
I just finished Onyx Storm.
Oh, see, okay,
Have you read it?
off the rails here. So I've only read Fourth Wing. Matthew's read Fourth Wing, and he's halfway through Iron Flame. I'm
Okay,
so
King
bad
Matthew.
about. No, I have wanted to start it. I've wanted to start Iron Flame, but I feel like sometimes with big books they like daunt me, and then I like don't start
No,
them.
that book is so good you will not put it down.
Okay. I
It's
mean,
so
that's how I
good.
was with Fourth Wing. So
Now, Onyx Storm,
hot take. Did you
Hot
like
take.
it?
I liked it. The internet does not like it.
I see. That's what I saw.
But it's really, like, the ending,
Ugh.
jaw on the floor, and you have 20,000
We
times more
literally
questions.
went to bed last night with like, I love going to bed with like the rain and like thunder and stuff. We went to bed with one
You're
that was
Violet
like Baz
Sorrengail.
gas. Like, I basically am Violet.
I
like,
basically am Violet Sorrengail.
what the fuck? Like, that's my Halloween costume.
My
for
signet
sure.
is lightning. I caused this storm.
No, you've been reading pretty much. You kind of got into that about two-ish years ago,
I feel like the
but
past,
more
like,
recently.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
8 months.
I feel like when you do like get into the bodybuilding world, you start reading a lot.
you have to get through cardio some way. And as much as I love watching other people's videos, I watch them all.
Yeah,
I've watched
there's
them.
only so much that
They're
you can
already
watch,
watched, yeah.
and my little fantasy world is fun.
Fantasy romance. Yeah, it makes the 40 minutes on the elliptical really fly.
Yeah,
Or on the stairs. Like,
or on the stairs.
You can't watch one after I watch 20 minutes. I'm done. I'm like, I have to go
No.
to a different world.
Me and my Kindle against the world.
Me and
for
my
real.
Kindle against the world.
I was like raw dogging it, trying to do it with the actual like book for a long time, and then I was like falling off the stairmaster, and I was like, okay,
No,
I
you
need a
can't.
Kindle.
Raw dogging
this
it.
is so bad. But yeah, we met back in. That was 2022.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it was.
I graduated college in 2023.
What?
Yeah, it was 2023.
Oh,
Right? Yeah.
you graduated college in 2023? First of all, that's freaking
Yeah,
criminal.
I graduated high school in 2020.
Don't tell the people when you were
so-
born. Don't tell them. They don't need to know. I'm
Yeah.
basically exploiting child labor by having her on my podcast.
Yeah, I'm a fetus. Yeah, no, we met in June of 2023.
Yeah, you're
Mhm.
right.
Yeah.
You are right.
And you started a week before me.
Yeah, I started it. I moved to St. Louis and I started at my job, and then I like finished your onboarding paperwork.
Yes.
I came in and they were like, "We hired this girl Josie. Can you just make sure that she like has this stuff?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. I don't know anything I'm doing, but sure, I'll hire somebody. I guess whatever." And then I don't even know how I found out that you were into fitness. I think I stalked you,
No, I put it on
to
my
be
resume.
honest.
I think I put NASM.
That's 100% what it was.
Yeah,
I
nutrition
remember
coach.
because I got nosy and I was like, okay, like who did these people hire?
And then one day I'm like, it's like day 2 of me working, and Olivia has her HR door open, and she's like, Josie, get in here. And I'm like, I was like, oh no. But
Josie's like, this is my first corporate job and I'm
know.
already getting fired by
she was
HR.
she was like, shut the door. She's like, do you personal train? Are you a nutrition coach? And then it started.
And yeah, that's all she wrote basically.
That's how our story started.
Yeah, we you were social media lead. I was HR manager, and we just kind of bonded over a lot of things.
It was us against the world.
Us against everybody.
Against
basically.
everybody.
No, I mean, we were the two only, like, young females there. Like, we were most of the only females at all.
Yes.
But we were the only, like, younger females. So it was like, who else were we to talk to about anything?
And it was so, like, God-given, too, because, like, Olivia and I both meal prep.
Yeah.
Like, we don't
like, we
go
were
out
so
for
similar
fast
on so many
food.
things. I was like,
Yes.
wait, you brought your meal prep? Is that a Pyrex container I see?
And
Is
I
that
was
a
like,
diet soda and
I went to the
hydrogen?
gym
Like,
at
oh my
6
God, it's my
a.m.
people.
And Olivia's like, I went to the gym at 6 a.m. And I was like, oh
And then
my
I was
gosh.
like, I'm getting ready to start a prep. And you were like, no way.
I was like, shut up. And it's so rare at least at our age, I feel like, to have people interested in the same thing. And so to be working at, like, a small company as the only two females in the office.
Yeah.
And then end up being interested in, like, the
In the
exact same
thing.
things, like, in everything. Like, we wanted to go for walks on our lunch break.
Yeah.
And just
we followed the same people.
yes,
we talked about the same stuff.
We knew everybody. Like, our Instagrams, like, our following was the exact same, practically.
Yeah.
Just, like, crazy how it lined up.
I know. Because so basically, I literally was an overpaid party planner. I was not an HR manager. And so I had nothing to do all day other than cry about hating my job. And and that is not a lie. And that was your actual job. And yap. Like, that's all I did was cry and yap.
And between my 4 TikToks a day, I went to Olivia's office.
Yeah.
And I yapped.
Or I got convinced into making a couple TikToks.
You did.
So that was about it.
And then I would just tell somebody that I was like, I just have a ton of insurance questions.
Yeah, Josie had questions about insurance. She had questions about if she would get fired if she brought ibuprofen to work because it was drugs. Like, you were like, can I bring a whole container of them? I was like, if you take them all at once, that's your own problem.
I said asking as a friend, not as an HR
Answering
manager.
as HR, you're fine.
Yeah.
I like how that was your concern as opposed to something else, but that's totally fine. So
the only drug I take.
Yeah, no. So we really just kind of talked about everything, like, fitness-wise for a while, I think. And then we were, like, pretty close friends then, but we hadn't, like, hung out outside of work till probably – when was the first time we hung out outside of work? I feel like it wasn't that late afterwards.
Wasn't it the Arnold? Wasn't it, like, October?
Yeah, I was going to say it was probably –
No, it was
Did we go to
that.
the gym before that?
Did we go to, like, I don't know.
I think we did something, but I
did
can't
something else.
remember.
We've done
It
so
was
much
definitely
now.
not you coming over for the Arnold was definitely not the first time.
It wasn't the first time, and that was October, and we started together in June.
But I really don't think that we went to the gym together before
I don't
that.
think we did
I don't know, but yeah,
I have no idea.
But then we actually kind of got way more close when we were going on a walk one day. Because, I mean, we still, like, kept, like, a pretty good, like, professional relationship, like, at work. Like, I didn't tell you about stuff I wasn't supposed to tell you about. And, like,
I told Olivia everything.
Yeah, Josie told me everything. But, like, I didn't tell her, like, certain stuff I wasn't supposed to talk about. Like, confidentiality, whatever. And, like, everything we did was still formal. Like, when I had to, like, redo offer letters or whatever it was. Like, we were pretty good about that. But, then we were on a walk one day and I had posted a TikTok and it was like talking about like go take like your lunch break, like your job will be fine. And McKenna commented and was like, June can't come soon enough. And
I was like, what's in June?
And I was like, nothing.
No, and I asked in front of everybody. I was like,
yeah, that's what it was.
Olivia was like, I was like, oh, like, yeah, like, what's in June? And she was like, nothing. I was like, at all? And she was like, no. And then I was like,
and this was what, in like February?
Yes. Like,
this was like February.
I knew immediately. Like, the second, or no, it would have been April.
Yeah, it was April. It was after my show.
Yeah, it was April. But I knew immediately. And so we like go outside.
I'm like
for
panicking.
A walk.
She asked in front of everybody.
Everybody.
And June, so I had to sign a contract when I started. And if I left before my contract ended, I had to pay back like a certain amount of money. And June was my 1 year. And so like that's obviously what it was I was leaving on my 1 year. And so when she asked in front of everyone, I was like, nothing.
No, I knew immediately. And then we like go outside. I was like, Olivia, can we walk on lunch today? And we get outside, and I was like, are you quitting in June?
And I was like,
You were like, and I was like, well, asking as a friend. I was like, how does one go about putting in their 2-week notice? And Olivia goes,
gagged.
Put the notice in, Pookie.
I literally have the test. Put it in, Pookie.
Yeah, she was like, shut up. And then it just unfolded.
Yeah.
That was the best walk break we've ever had.
I came back in there beaming with happiness.
With
I
joy.
was like, yes.
And I remember because
this is my ticket.
This is my ticket. Because we were hanging out, I feel like, a lot at work, but then they got
super, yeah.
And Olivia was like, we can't.
Yeah, they got kind of mad at me, so we had to kind of like hide it at work.
Yeah, she was like, we can't be talking like as much. But then really
Which
after
is like
this
crazy
moment,
considering the other personal relationships that were going on.
Yes.
But whatever.
But after this moment on our walk, like there was no
I was
stopping.
like, I literally don't care.
Like
I don't care.
I was knocking on Olivia's door about every 8 seconds.
Olivia, should I put these words in my resignation notice or not? So do I come tell you first and then somebody else, or do I tell them and then tell you?
Like it was so funny. It was the best thing ever. And then we started our countdown.
And then it was Operation Find Olivia a Job.
Yes.
On overdrive, and I was just getting so nervous that I wasn't going to have something before June. But I did, and it was so glorious.
And it worked out so good.
Yeah. But yeah,
Before
we met at
all
work.
this though, I feel like a key point was me and Olivia trying to guess Olivia's engagement. Like we could have had a crime scene photo up from like Criminal Minds of like all the ways we thought Matthew was gonna propose to her.
We had it all planned out.
Like there was this time that you guys went to a pumpkin patch.
Yeah, the winery
or whatever, and we were determined. Like we
had that. I literally ordered
outfits.
The entire outfit off of Amazon.
Yes,
expecting to get proposed.
And Olivia, not to out her.
Oh, I'm.
But Olivia,
myself.
We were so determined she was getting engaged on a Friday, Saturday. And so Olivia
my
would
whole
rot
hair wash routine,
yeah,
my self-tan routine.
She would rot Monday, Tuesday,
on Friday,
Wednesday,
Saturday, Sunday,
Thursday, and then Thursday night she would like re-dye her roots,
yes,
fake tan,
yes,
do her lashes, have her nails
so
fixed.
ugly. On
she would come
Wednesdays and Thursdays. I was sexy.
It was like
a whole new person.
On Fridays, it was like, who is that? That is not the same woman. Like it was like slick backs like Monday through Thursday.
Slick backs
and then
every
Friday
day.
It was like
voluminous curls.
Like oh my gosh.
Who is this girl?
Who is this? And then she would come back from the winery and there was no ring and we were like, oh my gosh. So we went
that
back
happened
to the
probably like 11 times.
Like 11 times. Like we were so.
And then the one time we were not
ready.
guessing and I was like literally standing out there talking to. Hold on. We have code names.
Ooh.
Talking. Who was I talking to? I was like, oh my god, like I would love nothing more than to just be proposed to in my living room. Like honestly, like I don't think I want this big engagement. And then I went home and got proposed to in my living room.
After his horrible hot air balloon story.
After literally the worst day of my life. And
so King Matthew did it again.
King Matthew for the fucking win, bro.
For the win.
It was perfect. But yeah, we had a great time there. We went through some fun stuff. More fun for you, more traumatic for me. Like I try to block that time out of my life. But I did have some funny stuff going on. So we're going to do a game of things that happened at
said place.
Booba. And we're going to rate them out of 10.
Okay.
For each other. You first.
Like, list something that happened to you?
No, list something that happened to you, and I'm going to rate it out of 10.
Oh, no.
And then you have to rate it out of 10.
Oh, no. Yours, but everything that happened to you is so much worse.
Yeah, I guess, mean, yours is more funny.
One.
Mine's just more trauma.
I got one. So there is a special person who we're gonna call Juicy, and I'm like sitting at my desk, and she like comes up, and she had a crush on one of the people who worked at the front with me, and she's like talking about her grandma's dogs, and she's like showing him pictures of this like Chihuahua and this lab. But then, like, the lab had a baby, and she was like, don't they look the exact same? And this person's like, yeah, like, they're the same. And then the next thing I know, she's, like, barking, yiping at him like a chihuahua. like, going, like, so loud. And my manager gets up and runs to the studio. Like, I have nowhere to go but just, like, sit down and put my head down. And I can hear Olivia in her office.
The embarrassment that I felt was horrible.
Like, that was, but yeah, I got barked at.
I'm giving that one a solid 8.5.
An 8.5.
That one was probably one of the funniest moments.
That one, I almost peed my pants. I really did.
The things I heard sitting in that office that happened out there from Juicy was probably the funniest thing in my life.
Give me your Juicy story.
Okay. Which Juicy story? So I was having a conversation with Juicy and oh my god, I completely forgot. I gotta do a twofer.
There's two.
There's twofer. So we're gonna go the first one. One of the supervisors came in and was like, hey, somebody needs a pad. Do you have any pads? And I was like, shit, I only have tampons. Like, I mean, I know it's probably not your preferred, but it's either that or bleed on your pants. Like, I'm going to offer it to you. And I didn't know who it was. And so Juicy came in, and she was like, you got a pad? And I was like, no, I have a tampon. She goes, I don't want no fucking tampon. Do you have a pad? And I was like, no. She goes, whatever. I said, oh, my God.
Now, mind you, this is a very small
My door's
office.
open, and I'm, like, trying to be quiet because it's, like, a personal matter.
Everybody can hear this.
You ain't got no pad?
Like, I don't want a fucking tampon. Like, and it's literally like me, and then the rest is just males out here. And, like, you can just hear it echoing out of Olivia's room.
I'm like, sorry, guys. Yeah, so that was a funny one. But then Juicy came into my office again. This was, like, maybe 4 or 5 days after she was hired. And she was like talking about something that she didn't like about working there, and she was like, but don't tell HR. I fucking hate HR. They always get involved in everything. They be sticking their noses everywhere. And I'm like, she goes, what do you do again? I go, HR. She goes, anyways, and walks out. I said, I think that was the funniest moment of my life.
No, that is a 9 to me, because
that is
Olivia
superior.
waits not even 10 seconds before
I just stood in the doorway.
And she's just looking at all of us, and she's like explaining the situation, and we're just like, what do you think she did?
Let's not forget that then 2 months after I started my new job, she was my TSA agent at the airport. I literally thought I was going to get my ass beat.
Yeah,
I was wide awake at like 5. I was like, oh my God, I'm so
5
tired. I
a.m.
need a coffee. I was wide awake.
No, I get a call from Olivia.
My butthole is clenching. Like, I'm nervous as fuck.
Like, it's about to come out. Like, Olivia texts me, which is so fun because we're on the same schedule, which is very uncommon as well. But we're always up. And it's like 5:05 a.m. and I get like 4 text messages in all caps. She's like, Josie, are you awake? Are you awake right now? I need to talk to you. And I call Olivia, and she's like, Juicy she's my TSA agent. Like, she is gonna flag my bag. Like, something is gonna happen. And I'm like,
gonna get a pat down and then a beat down.
I'm like, no, yeah, she was like, I'm gonna get literally like groped out here. And I was like, Olivia, you have to get in a different line. She's like, I can't. I can't.
I was already in there. She was waving me into the metal detector.
It's too late. And it was like at the right time of 5 a.m. all of a sudden, like, I was wide awake.
I'm in my work clothes, like, definitely recognizable. I'm like, oh my God.
Just small world.
First of all, very scared about that employment opportunity. But
we also said that on the bright side, by the time you came back from your work trip, she probably would have been fired.
Right. So like, I haven't seen her. I've flown out of that airport like 20 more times and I haven't seen her.
Yeah, and we haven't seen her. So
whatever. Yeah, that was those 3 are solid 9s.
Those are solid.
Good ones. The juicy ones are fun. I have a story about everyone.
Not flying, flailing.
Whichever one.
Yeah.
She's many things. Yeah, I mean, I literally got screamed at, and I got called into her office, and She was banging on the desk, yelling at me, screaming at me, calling me a child, asking me what I was going to do with her talking to me like this. And yeah, and then
Recording
I ran into her. Yeah, recorded me. I knew about it. And then I ran into her into the gas station like 4 weeks later.
And you survived.
Yeah, I'm here.
Literally, like these walls are very thin. So,
and
like,
I was in
Olivia
that office for probably like 45 minutes.
Yes,
in
like,
that office.
She means screaming.
Screaming.
Like, whenever you get a corporate job, I feel like
forehead red, like so pissed at me. I'm like, what did I do to you?
Also, you're not the incompetent one.
Right. Not like I had to fix like huge mistakes, but it's totally fine. Yeah, that was more of just like a little scary one.
That one I give
a little scary.
I give that one like a 9.6. Traumatic.
That's pretty high on the trauma scale.
Yeah. Like,
I don't even know what other ones I have written down.
Let me see. There's, guys, just so much happened that, like, there's just so many, I feel like, stories.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was more like, it was the most toxic job I've ever worked in my entire freaking life. Like, I cry every time. I cried, like, every single day. I cry when I think about that job. I literally cannot stand it. I have every single person that is associated with that place, like, blocked on social media. I just can't do it. And, yeah, I mean, 99% of it was coming from, like, my direct manager. And, yeah, they just all hated me. 1, because I was a girl. 2, because I, like, had a brain and, like, knew things and called them out on, like, stuff that they 100% should not be doing. But, like, my main tipping point was basically I competed in my bodybuilding show, and I was, like, super open about my bodybuilding show, and, like, I did a 25-week prep. I was in the fucking trenches, like, every day.
Understatement.
Understatement of the century. I was in the trenches. I was just trying to survive, and it was like a 9 to 5. Like, people sat there with their backpacks on.
We literally could not leave.
Stuff I've ever seen in my life.
Could not leave until the clock hit 5.
So childish.
We could be done at like 4:15, and we're on our personal phones.
Why are we doing this? Like, this is so childish. And so it wasn't like where, like, now I'm 9 to 5, but, like, I'm salary, so I can kind of, like, flex my hours. Like, no, it was like I'm straight in that seat from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and, like, would get in trouble if I wasn't. And I got back from my show. Literally the day after my show, I got called, and it was like, oh, like, how did your show go? And I was like, oh, it's fine. And, like, I didn't love my job at this point, but I didn't, like, hate it. I was bored, and I was wasting my potential being there. And my friend, Sir Wasted Potential, was like, yeah, well, we really need the person in this role to be, like, peppy and bubbly and, like, fun, and you've just, like, not been that. And, you know, we really just want, like, girl, festive, bubbly. And I'm like, I didn't get a degree in, like, bubbly. Also, I was so nice to every associate that came in my door. I wasn't going to fake it to the exec team because they knew what was going on, but I wasn't going to take it out on, like, any hourly people. And he was like, yeah, and I just think it's really affecting other people. But, like, I think the best idea would be to, like, send an email explaining why you did what you did and how much it meant to you. And just, like, really tell the executive leadership, like, the reason behind your actions. And I was like, oh, my God. This is
also crazy. These people are not bubbly, happy, nice people.
No, they're so mean.
Like if you walk into their office, it's like death stare.
Oh my God, they hated me.
Like, what do you want?
They hated me.
Like, Olivia was still, like, so perky and happy. And
yes, I would do everything to be fake happy with them. And I mean,
I never felt any bit of like obviously, like, which me just starting off on prep, I realized, like, how hardcore it would have actually been at, like, working at this place while doing that.
Yeah.
But it's like, you're freaking hungry. Like,
you're
miserable. Exhausted.
You don't even have enough energy to think.
No. And Olivia did everything, and she was so nice. Like, I would see people go into her office nonstop for, like, no reason at all, and I never heard.
Never once was. I was literally always like, oh, hi, like, how can I help you? And I was like, I'm not going to put that facade on you guys because you don't put it on for me. Like, why is the female, am I the one that has to sit there and be, like, the peppy one? Like, you're so mean to me. Like, I literally just print your concert tickets and do dumb shit. Like, I'm providing no value. Like, why can't you be nice?
Yes.
And so I sent this whole long email because I was, like, not trying to lose my job. And no one responded. Not a single person. Not a single person. So from that day out, literally, it was so bad. And then I put my 2 weeks notice in, and I was talking about how I was moving into a new 2-bedroom, and I'd been talking about wanting to move, like, since I started.
Yes.
Like, I was like, we need more space. Either we were going to buy a house, build a house, or get a bigger apartment. Like, everybody knew this. It was common knowledge. And so, literally, it was, 2 days after I put in my notice, and I was nice when I put in my notice. And 2 days later, I was in, like, the common area, and I was like, oh, my gosh, guys, like, I got accepted for, like, my 2-bedroom, like, I'm moving into my bigger apartment. Next day, fired, because I was flaunting how much money I was making at my new job.
It's also, like,
I am not moving there because of what you paid me. I'm moving there because of what coaching pays me. And maybe if I'm bragging about how much money I make, maybe you should pay me what I'm worth and what you pay your males.
And it's also, like, they treated it like it was such a crime. Why do you think people move jobs?
Right.
To make more money is number one. Like, that's the one reason why people leave a position.
Exactly. And multiple of your team members asked me if I was making more money, and I didn't say anything.
It's also, like,
so,
obviously.
like, your people were, obviously, you didn't pay me anything. And you overworked me. So, yeah, I got fired, and that was super fun. I literally packed all my stuff up.
They told you that they would still pay you.
I forgot about this.
Dive deep.
Yeah, well, it's not that so they told me they'd still pay me out for the rest of my week. And so then I work in payroll. I know the schedules. I ran that payroll. I know when stuff gets sent out. So a week goes by, and I realize, oh, my God, I didn't get my last check. So I reach out to Money Guy. And
the Walking L, right?
No, I reached out to the Money Guy.
Okay.
And was like, hey, haven't gotten my last paycheck. Care to tell me why? And he said they mailed it. Like, they saw my paper check and they mailed it. And they mailed it the day that it got delivered. I don't know if you guys know, but, like, when you mail a letter, it, like, says what day you mailed it on it when you send it certified mail, which you do when you send checks. They mailed it the day that I asked. You weren't going to pay me? Oh.
So
That's
bad.
Really funny. So I got my last check, but then only about 4 months ago, I got a text from impressed that I looked at his LinkedIn profile, and I only was looking because I knew he was unemployed, and texting me being like, can I help you? You could have helped me when you hated me, or, like, you made me want to cry every day, but now, no, I'm enjoying my job. And so I was like, mind you, this is like a chief officer. Like, I should be the one being petty. Like, I'm 25. I'm a 25-year-old girl. Like, I should be the one being petty, not you. And I texted back, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to block you for the better of the both of us. He goes, LOL, okay.
LOL.
With
at,
the
like,
little
50-something years old.
I'm dead. That whole give a solid 10 out of 10 for trauma.
Oh, 100%.
I think about him on a daily basis with how much I'm appreciated at my job now.
Like, Olivia definitely saw, like, the worst side. I didn't have to see any, like, that behind the scenes, but then I hear about it, and I'm like, holy mother, I am so glad that I, like, decided to pursue something else. And whenever I did resign, like, there was not any blood on my side. Chill. But then gets on a call with Olivia, and he's like, and also, like, my reason for leaving was so true. I was personal training on the side.
Yeah.
And I left so that I could go pursue it full time and just see if that's where I wanted to be. And then on a call with Olivia, he's like, so why did she really quit?
Yeah.
Like, we know that she told you.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, yes, we were, like, talking about it, but, like, don't loop me in. You're the one that told me not to talk to her. So why would I know? How do I know?
And it's also
most like maybe you should have a better environment if you're that pressed about people quitting.
Yes. And it's like, why do you think I'm lying? Like,
right.
I literally went and I tried
right. And
time.
your reason was completely true. Like, you didn't lie about anything.
Yes. I'm trying to really. There's only one more thing that I think the world needs to know.
What do they need to know?
We had a security guard. Oh. And I just think Olivia needs to tell it from her perspective.
Oh my God.
Because I almost peed my pants.
sometimes I really feel like I should write a book. So
if Olivia wrote a book, I would sell it out.
I could just like bullet point list all of like the associate relation things I've done, and I think people would pee their pants.
Yes.
Like, it's so funny.
No, 100%.
So we hired a security team, and they were super well known. They were used in airports and stuff. Like, it was a reputable company, whatever. Well, I don't know what their interviewing process looks like, because basically every security guard, the first one we got, she was mean to me. I literally asked her, I was like, hey, can I like get you anything? And she was like, no.
I forgot about her.
I gave you a job. So, anyways, so we had this one security guard. He was probably the best one that we'd had so far. Like, he was very much not a good security guard, but we only needed it for like inventory purposes.
But he was chill.
Yeah, he did what he needed to do.
He showed up most of the time.
Yeah, he just had like some attendance issues, like with getting there late sometimes. So one day after he was late, I was like, hey, by the way, can you, like, this is my phone number, just text me if you're going to be late, because we just had no idea where he was. We would have to call the company, and the company had to call him. So I'm getting ready one morning. It's like a regular morning. I'm at the sink. Matthew's like getting ready to get up out of bed and start getting ready. And there's a text that comes across my screen that's from Daddy with a flaming red heart. And I said, what the fuck? And I open it, and it's him. And it's
like this, right?
Yeah. And so I open it up. I'm like, oh, I have no one in my contacts named this. Like, there's no shot. And I'm like, oh my God. And so I go in there. He's like, hey, by the way, I'm going to be 5 minutes late this morning. I'm like, oh my God, because he had it where like you can set what you want your contact to be with other
suggested
people.
Contact name.
And then, mind you, this is our security guard. His profile picture is him holding a Glock to the camera.
And he has in his phone his name suggested as Daddy.
Daddy with a flaming red heart. So I'm like, oh my God, no way this is happening to me right now. So first thing, I go tell him, because I'm like, oh my God, if he sees my phone and sees Daddy on my phone, he's going to be like, who is she texting? And so then I screenshot the text from him and send it back to him. And I want to see if I can find the exact text that I sent him back, because it is so
There's
funny.
just so much stuff happened here that's like, it's not real life to me. And when you think about having a job like post-college, like everything that happened here is like,
it was insane. I'm not going to be able to find it. But
like, this is not real. It's not professional.
I basically sent him the screenshot back, and I was like, hey, just wanted to let you know, in case you weren't aware, this is what your suggested contact name and picture comes up as. If you're using this for professional communication, I would maybe suggest changing it. He was like, oh, thank you so much. Never changed it.
And like, we have to pass this guy to go into the back. And it's right by the lunchroom.
Past him that day.
So like, Olivia had to like
Daddy.
physically pass this person, and like, I just don't even think he had any shame about it.
No,
like,
I'm like, you text your mom from that phone number?
No, literally. Like, unless your mama has your profile picture differently.
Oh my
God, the same thing.
Oh my God, I was like, whatever. So yeah, security daddy was a time in my life. We had him, and then we had the other security guard that ate ribs and drank orange juice and sat in the bathroom for 40 minutes, and I had to tell him to leave, and he was a whole ordeal. But yeah, I mean, we both left. Never looked back. God bless America.
God bless America.
I can't believe it's been a year. It's been almost a year since you left, right?
I left in May, yeah.
And I left in June. So it's almost a year.
And it's almost like it's not real. Like, we talk about these stories, and I'm like, the fact that I saw...
I, like, trauma blacked it out.
Yes, like, the fact that I saw Juicy every day, like...
I can't believe that actually happened.
Like, there's so... Like, that, we just gave you, like, the surface level. Like, there's so many conversations that happened with this person. That was, like, jaw on the floor. Like, the things that... Like, me and Olivia rollerbladed around this place. Like, that is so not...
Rollerbladed in our freaking...
Barbie skates.
And...
Got pied in the face. Like...
Yeah.
We just did so many
dressed
things.
up as Vector and Gru.
Okay,
and
iconic.
TikToks. That was so good.
And magnitude. Oh yeah. That was the best video I ever posted on social media for this company.
I think that was so iconic.
Literally, it was iconic. Yeah, it's just like a different world. But whenever you leave an environment, like if you feel like you are so
oh my God
unhappy in your work environment, that's a valid feeling. You should feel it, and you should like actively work against it.
Yeah, I mean, I've worked in 2 other really good places, and it can feel hard when that's like your first place, or like you feel like it's your only place you can get a job at. But like, trust me, I would have taken. I mean, I was at the point where I was like, I'll do something outside of HR. Like, I just got to get out. Like, I just can't even do it anymore. Like, I don't care. I don't care if I don't have an HR job. Like, I'll figure out how to train full time. I don't know.
Yes,
but I was like, you just got to go. You just got to get out. There's no sense in staying and continuing to be miserable. So yeah, but that's us about our jobs. So
and that's how we met.
Yeah.
So we are trauma bonded.
We are trauma bonded.
And now Olivia's my little soul sister.
Yeah.
I feel like we're very opposite, but also so similar.
Yeah. I'm excited for Josie to start her bodybuilding. Well, I mean, you've been living like the bodybuilding lifestyle for pretty long, but like excited. Tell us your feelings like heading into stage.
Oh no.
Nerves.
It is like, so I feel like a lot of my friends competed like a couple years ago or like even like watching you do it last year, and it's like so tempting to jump into a prep, and I'm very glad that I like waited till now to do so.
Yeah.
And like grew a little bit. But it is so much different than you would ever think. Like as somebody like in the bodybuilding world that wasn't competing, whenever you see other people compete, it's like, oh, like that's really cool. Like they're doing really awesome. But you just don't understand what fully goes into it. Like you are hungry 24/7. Like the only thing you're thinking about is food. Meal prep takes longer than you could ever imagine. Yeah. When you're like trying,
even though you're eating like no food.
Yes, you're eating like no food, but it just takes so much time.
Planning.
And I mean Olivia too, like we love to grocery shop, and like grocery shopping on
just
prep
not
is
having the thrill of being able to buy what you want is
yes.
annoying as fuck.
Or like if you're in a social environment.
Yeah.
I think like something cool about bodybuilding and just surrounding yourself with cool friends is like I don't feel forced to drink when I go out. Like my friends know what's going on.
It's not like a weird thing for you to bring meal prep places or be like, hey, I can't like participate in it. Which makes things like easier than hanging out with people that like don't get it.
Like we went to 2 Plumbers, which you guys would actually love that place in St. Charles, but it's like this like old game bar. Like you have to use quarters for everything.
Oh, fun.
And some of my friends met us out and they were like, why aren't you drinking? And I was just like, oh, like I started prep. And one of them was like, oh, hell yeah, and like gave me a hug, and he was like, I'm so proud of you, like that's so awesome. And one of their like best friends, one of my best friends, Jordan, like she's been through preps, so like they've seen that through her. So just like finding that community. But really, like, going through a prep is so mental. Like, it's definitely more mental than physical. Yeah. And, like, if the scale doesn't move or maybe it goes up, like, obviously I didn't gain a pound. Like, my scale went up this week. Yeah. But it's, like, stress and everything.
Still just dealing with it.
And it just, like, it eats away at you because you're hungry all week and then you, like, see something that you don't want to see on the scale. And so prep is not, like, butterflies and rainbows.
No.
Like, you see on social media. Like, you're seeing the good parts.
It's so cool to see, like, it's so cool to watch your favorite influencer, like, get shreddy and whatnot. But, like, the process to actually get shreddy, you realize, like, I don't want to maintain this. Like, this is miserable.
Like, once I do step on stage, like, I literally can't wait to reverse. Yeah. Like, already. And so I'm super, like, I want to see what my body is capable of. And I think it's really cool. But the sport is so hard, and I think that until you step into it, you don't realize, like, Olivia was doing this every single day, and I was like, she's a badass. Yeah. But, like, I didn't fully understand, like, what like going through it was.
24 hours a day.
Yes, and, all like, you wake up hungry, you go to bed hungry. After you eat your meal, you're probably hungry.
You're even hungrier.
Because it didn't fill you up. No. And so it's like, it's just like this back and forth.
And you're working
of like,
on top of it. And then you've got your own training. Your
and
own
then so much cardio is put in.
And you still want to try to be social and be a good partner or friend.
And then like sometimes it's like your energy is just down because.
Yeah, you can't even think.
Yes. And like when you're on prep, fats do get pulled a lot. And like fats are what keeps you satiated. They are what really like balances you out. Yes, with your hormones. So whenever you don't have that fat in your diet, you were just like I'm quick to emotions. Like, I've cried more in the past week.
You just can't control it. Like, you get to that point. I hit that point, like, 6 weeks out where you just can't control your emotions.
And
like,
I'm not even 6 weeks out, and I'm already like...
Yeah. No, you get to a point where you're so dysregulated at one point where it becomes so hard to, like, regulate your emotions.
Yes.
Like, you'll just cry at the drop of a dime.
Yeah, and there's no stopping it, too. Like, one tear means a river.
It's just over. It's just
like,
over.
The day is over. It's done. If you cry in the morning, you're going to cry later today, too.
I mean, It's definitely a process. And I mean, you and I have had like pretty different approaches, like going into prep or like what we did like previously to prep. Like I had to spend a lot of time like dieting down before entering a prep. You've been able to like grow a decent amount, and then like you're kind of just getting into like more meal plan and like tracking food.
Yes.
And like learning all the things around like meal plan and tracking food. And
I have intuitively eaten for like the past 3 years.
Yeah.
So I have not weighed out my food. I have not tracked my food.
That's where I feel like a big shock for you might have been was just like, oh, like this is something like that was another addition to your routine that wasn't there previously.
And I like tracked beforehand. I think I stopped tracking in August 22, like right at my brother's wedding. And I loved eating intuitively. And I think there's such a time and a place for that. Like if you
have the food knowledge.
Yes. And like if you've
tracked before,
don't plan on like stepping on stage or whatever, like I think you should give it a try. Like I think everybody should give intuitive eating a try. There's definitely a time and a place for tracking, and it's so good to especially learn stuff.
But you can't rely on it all the time.
Yes.
Like you're gonna reach a point in your life when you don't want to do it anymore, but you have to have the knowledge to even try intuitive eating.
Yes. Yeah. And like I with my boss like currently, she is like health and wellness queen. Yeah. Like health and wellness Jesus, honestly.
Don't judge my Dr. Pepper.
We'll cover it. But just like I feel like learning from her and like really learning and being under her taught me so much. So now like my heart is kind of like I've always wanted to bodybuild, but my heart is definitely more with like the health side of it and the wellness. Like
because bodybuilding straight, I mean, it's not healthy.
It's
like,
not healthy.
It's not. There's way unhealthier things that you can do, but like if you see somebody stage lean, they're not healthy. Like you see somebody like it's and I hate like the concise definition of healthy because it's different, whatever. Like it's healthier for me to bodybuild than to eat processed junk and sit on the couch all day, but like it's not the epitome of health for my body. Whereas like if I was being at maintenance, maybe with just like a little bit of deficits and focusing on ingredients, like that is like health, you know? So bodybuilding you can do in a healthier way, and you can make sure you're monitoring things, but you are putting yourself to extremes with your physique, with your nutrition, with training, like with expenditure, like that kind of stuff, that if you're not monitoring it right, like can be unhealthy and cause like serious long-term effects.
Yes.
So
yeah, and just in general, like blood sugar spikes. Yeah. Like I used to not know anything about blood sugar spikes. Now I'm like, I cannot have a blood sugar spike otherwise. Or like histamine levels, like keeping histamine low. I used to have cystic acne even when I started at our job. Like I had really bad acne down my cheeks. And they'd be like super painful. My boss, she took dairy out of my diet.
So many like dietary changes that helped that.
Like being dairy free has changed my life 100%. I also do have issues with dairy anyways.
Ooh. My IBS queen. One time, I don't even care, but we're going to tell the whole internet. One time Olivia made the most delicious cheese dip. It was so good.
I've literally ever had. And so I eat this. We're watching the Olympia. And this is when we're at our job. And it's just cheese, okay? It's just a ton of different cheese.
Tomatoes, jalapenos.
I could not go to the bathroom for like
it was like 5 days.
Like I would come in, we go to work and Olivia's like, "Have you gone yet?"
We did that like
that
no. Saturday, and that Friday you still had not pooped.
I still had not gone. Like I was in so much pain, but that was the best cheese dip. But that should have been like my warning sign like 2 years ago that Dairy and I just were not friends. No, like we just were not together. But yeah, so Dairy's my insensitivity or my sensitivity. But God. No, like it's the bodybuilding journey. It's gonna be. I think it's once I like figure. I just took a gut test too. I don't know if I told you about that, but I had to take a gut test and like send that off. So I hope like that comes back with answers, but it's so exciting to see what your body can do. Like prep is like anybody who goes through prep, it's like you're a badass. Yeah. And
when you finish it, I mean, it doesn't compare to any feeling in the world.
Yes. Like when I think like it's really hard when I'm hungry, but I'm so grateful that my body can do it. Like movement is such a blessing. Yeah. Like being able to be in a state where like we've built muscle. Yeah. And then also like whenever I do get to train with Olivia, this is my favorite. So, like, training with a partner or, like, with your best friend.
With the right partner.
Yes. It changes everything. Yeah. So, even just, like, if I am having a hard time on prep or, like, sometimes when I'm in a slump, Olivia will drive out to me or I'll drive out here. Yeah. Working out together, like, it alives me. Like, it is so much fun.
And just, like, trying new exercises and, like, there are some exercises where it is more uncomfortable to do it without a partner, to like push weight that you don't want to push or whatever.
Yes.
But like I am someone who loves working out with a partner, but it has to be the right partner. I just like feel so much more ballsy like to try things like when I'm with somebody, and like I feel like then I like uncover some of like my potential, whereas I wouldn't have tried that by myself.
I feel like whenever I'm with Olivia, I'm like, you can do more, and she's like,
yeah,
you know what,
and
then she does it,
and then that's my starting weight for my next one.
And she does it for reps too.
Yeah. So, like, I think that helps.
Yeah, it's so fun. Like,
so if my butt just gets bigger, it's because Josie trains with me more often.
No, and then, like, whenever I'm with Olivia, like, I'm just, like, I'm so much more alive. Like, it's so much more fun. Like, Olivia pushes me. I'll be like, oh, 12 reps. And she's like, nah, 15.
No, that wasn't, you had more. Like, no, it's fine.
And something Olivia is so good at that I'm, like, really bad at is you, like, are a tempo queen. Like, Olivia, if she is leg pressing, it is like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, up. And so it's like that, obviously, time under tension. Like, it makes it so much heavier. And I'll, like, push weight. I feel like I push a lot of weight.
Yeah, you're a weight
But then
pusher.
I'll, like, be, like, speeding through it. And then I watch Olivia's set after mine. I'm like,
see, no, but
I'm like, I need to slow down 3 seconds.
I used to be like that, though. I used to be like that.
So it's like just being around that, though. It's like that's in my head now. Yeah. So it's like when I do my lifts, I'm like, okay, I better slow it down.
Yeah.
So it's like you just watch other people and you just realize like, oh, like I could be progressing so much better by going slow, or like you just like want to get a workout done and you're like fast. But then it's like,
if I'm gonna be there anyways, I'm gonna do it the right way.
Yes, be intentional. So I think like I like make Olivia lift heavier, and Olivia makes me realize that like I need to have form. Yeah. Like I need to be slow and count the tempo.
Like, yes, I love it for you that you're loading like 500 pounds on the hip press, but count to 4.
But like,
and
count
she's
to
like,
4.
Can you shut up and let me count?
And then
to
all
1.
of a sudden, my 12 reps is like 8.
Yeah.
Maybe 7. And I'm like, oh. So it's just fun, like working out with the right person. Taking content is so much fun.
Yeah, we make some fun.
It is so fun to film with somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, we went viral.
We did, bro. We got like 2.3 million views.
That's off
a silly little video.
A silly little video, and like we were like, people probably think we're so dumb if we're doing this.
I hope now if people thought we're crazy, they looked it up and they realized that we're famous.
But I also am like a huge believer in nothing is embarrassing unless you think it is.
Yeah, nothing is embarrassing.
Like I wasn't
obviously 2.2 million people thought it was funny.
Yeah. Like,
so now I'll never be embarrassed again in my life because 2.2 million people think I'm funny.
Yeah, and I'm like, I just like don't like. Who cares what other people think? That's another thing at the gym too. When we were doing that,
we just learned we don't care,
and like people aren't watching you.
They're not.
Like
we were doing full like handstand gymnastics back in the back.
Olympics. Yeah,
we were trying out for the Olympics.
We were trying out for the 2024 Olympics.
No one cared.
Nobody cared.
We were literally goofing around,
being like menaces, and I'm pretty sure like people might have glanced at them and like, oh. Like, I wish we were
I was
that
having
cool.
that much fun.
Yeah, I wish I had a friend like that. Like, Olivia just makes my life so much more fun. Yeah. If me and Olivia lived closer, so we're like 30 minutes away from each other.
A hot minute.
If Liv and I lived close to each other.
When Liv gets in her bag and buys a house.
Yeah, when Olivia gets a house right next to me, honestly, I might even move in.
When we buy the cul-de-sac. Actually, your friend's already said in there.
Actually, like, I might move in when her and Matthew get a house. But when we ever go to the same gym,
we would be.
Our badonks are about to become.
I would have to widen
ginormous.
This frame right now.
Like, we're gonna have
I'm gonna take up this seat and you'll take up that
I know, like,
seat.
the couch is too small. Like, when me and Olivia get to train together every day one day, because I'm manifesting
it. My butt is sore for days.
Days. Like, whenever we live together. So, we're gonna be jacked. Like,
it's gonna be so good.
It's gonna be so good. So, it's like, find that person. Like, if you see a girl in gym and you're like.
That's the thing, is like, talk to people in the gym too. Like,
absolutely.
Literally almost all of my friends, that like my recent friends, are all from the gym.
And it's something like, it is so cool to have friends that are interested in the same thing you are. Like, I love all of my friends who are not in the gym so much. Like, I adore them. But like, when me and Olivia hang out, we just get it. Like, when we hang out, it's like, we want to lift, we're gonna go get acai bowls afterwards, like something that's like, I mean,
it's just not like, it's like the not judgment for wanting to pick things that are like outside of the normal.
Yes.
It's not like, oh, let's go hang out. And like, yes, we go out, we go to bars, we do whatever. But
we
like,
fall asleep in PBR.
We fall asleep in the PBR booths after timing people in the bowl for 2.5 hours.
Yes, like we're still fun.
Yeah.
But like,
but it's not like all the time, like, let's go out or like let's go to dinner or let's like go to brunch or like whatever. It's like, let's go lift, let's go get like fruit or breakfast, or let's go on a walk, let's go to a farmer's market.
We love walking. I love our walks by the arch. Yeah, and it's like we're hanging. I mean, right now, like,
so it's not like you having to be like, oh well, like I like didn't really want to like go do that, or like,
or it's
whatever.
like, oh, we've drinking every weekend, or we drink every weekend.
Right.
It's like we don't need that. Like we have so much fun sober, and like just having a friend who's in tune with their body, where it's like that doesn't even make me feel good.
Yeah, and we even like the thing is like you have your comfort level too to be like, oh well, like you invited me out to dinner, but actually like I don't have my free meal tonight, so like I can't go. And you would be like, oh, okay, well like when is your next free meal?
Yeah,
it's not like, oh, like just make one. Like it's so much easier to like not feel like you have to explain yourself.
Or I came over here one day, Matthew was gone, and Olivia's like, oh, like come hang out, while she like took down some Christmas decorations.
Oh yeah,
and it's like so fun because I come over here and she's like, okay,
and I'm just making like chicken.
She's
and
like,
potatoes
I have
and
chicken,
green
sweet
beans.
potatoes, and veggie.
Right,
and it's like. It's just amazing because it's like, you know what, that's what I eat too. Like, we're not going to go grab
it's so easy to go to people's
McDonald's
house.
Or like a frozen pizza, but it's like you have whole food ingredient. And it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, it just makes your life easier. Like, if you talk, and like that's the other thing too, is like talking about your goals to people, and like surrounding yourself with people that like truly like want to be a piece in your fitness journey is the only way you'll be successful. Because like, I used to try to keep it hidden, like even like from my family, like they knew I was working out, but like I wouldn't say like, oh well, I'm tracking my food. Like I just go home and like be pissed about it, and like say like they didn't understand, or like it took me a while to like open up to Matthew about how serious I was about it and whatnot. So like if you have people that, like know your thing and know what you're gonna do, like when I was on prep, it was never like, oh let's go do this. It was like we just had the mutual understanding, and like it's the same like with you being on prep, where it's not like, oh let's go like do this crazy thing and like you're super tired and like I don't get it and whatever. You have people who are like, oh, maybe you should go do this, or like go rest, or I'll just come over and we can like chill on the couch. It's like,
or it's like you want to go to QT and get a
Diet
Coke.
Spicy Diet Coke. And you have people that just, instead of like getting in the way, will make it easier for you.
Yes.
So I think that's the thing too, is like you have to like talk about it to people. Like if you have people in your life that you haven't talked to it about it, and you feel like you're not as consistent as you want to be because these people don't get it, how do you expect them to get it if you don't talk about it?
Yes.
So
Olivia was my little missing piece. Yeah. It's just crazy. Like we connected so fast, and then now I'm like, I've known this girl for over 2 years.
Yeah,
almost.
Isn't that so crazy?
Or almost 2 years. And I'm like, I'm going to your wedding in Mexico. Like I'm just so excited, and like Olivia. Well, have you told the world that you like you're prepping?
That what?
Like that you're gonna prep again?
Oh yeah, the world knows I'm gonna prep again.
The world knows Olivia's gonna prep again.
The world doesn't know when I'm prepping again.
They don't know when.
They know I'm prepping, and they know I want to go pro.
Okay. So. Okay. Yeah. So why did I just lose my train of thought on this?
No, I'm excited for you to go through your first prep, and like even to like. You never know, even if you watch bodybuilding all the time, and like that's what I'm excited for you for, is like it's something like I think is such like a testament to discipline, and I think it'll carry you so far in your life. But if you're somebody who you do bodybuilding once and you're like, I love this, I'm so glad I did it, but like this isn't for me, I think that's like so much growth in itself. Like if you decide like, oh, I love this and I want to keep doing it, perfect. But if you're like, hey, I love this, it was a testament, even if it's a fucking bucket list thing, like go for it.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Don't feel like you have to be in it for longer than what makes you happy. And like that's the thing, it's like it has to be something that, yes, it's gonna be hard, yes, it's gonna be miserable sometimes, like you have to be happy. But I'm excited for you to like see how you transform like through the prep and then like after as well.
And it teaches you something so much about yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
And like I cannot wait for Olivia to go through hers, because now it's like I do fully understand it. Yeah. And it's like, and it's just like such a support system.
Yeah. And like just having people like, you knew about the bodybuilding world, which I think is why we clicked so fast, because I had a lot of people into fitness, but you were the only person that really knew about bodybuilding. And so it was like easier to talk about it. But I am really excited to go through like the second prep now that we both like really know about everything. Like I completed my first prep, you completed your first prep, like we both fully know about everything. And now it's like, and like
round 2 for Liv.
Round 2 and 3 and maybe 4, like yeah, we're gonna be booked and busy.
We're gonna be booked.
Me and Meg are clocked in. We're ready to go. I'm ready to go.
I gotta drop 10 pounds. This butt's gotta get
shown. Like we got some medals to take home.
Booty out. Yeah.